Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to an exciting Halloween episode of Wrestling with ADHD and Bruce. Hi, I'm BeetleBruice. Look, I know me and David we talked. We decided that we're going to go ahead and do a Halloween extravaganza for the spooky season. So, I decided that I was going to dress up as BeetleBruice, and here I am. Okay, so this is episode 8. If you saw the ticker, Wrestling with ADHD and Bruce, episode 8, Fear the Reaper. If you guys understand what that means, we will. No. I'm waiting for him to get on. Send him the link. He's got some stuff he's taking care of. So I just told him I would go and get the ball rolling while we waited. So what's been going on, people? I've kind of been off here for a little bit. Actually, I think I'm 2 weeks behind. I think I'm 2 solid weeks behind. My day job was affecting how I operated outside of work. So I kind of just put it off. And if you have been paying attention, if you've been following along, I've got ADHD, so that kind of just that tends to happen. Okay, so without further ado, hold on one second. Sexy. So without further ado, my host, I'm your host. My guest has officially arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, Mark? Glad to see you. But first, happy Halloween. Be safe out there. If you're going to drink, be responsible. There's a lot of adult-themed parties going on, and it's a good idea to go out and have fun, but also be safe. So without further ado, here is my special guest, Austin Bolo. Hey, what's happening, brother? How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man.
Good. Glad to have you on, man. How have you been? Been all right?
I've been having some issues, but we got to stay strong in today's world, man. We gotta stay strong.
For sure. Hold on. Sorry, I completely dressed up tonight. I wore the fangs and everything, so it really was just kind of getting in the way. So I like it. What did you got on under there?
Clothes.
Oh, well, I've got my jacket on, but all I got under here is there's a werewolf under there.
Ooh.
So yeah, man. I actually wanted to do this a couple of weeks back. My job, unfortunately, they needed somebody to fill in, and I was that guy. So, I'd get off work and just be completely freaking beat.
I understand.
Absolutely miserable. I had long conversations with David about it, and I just like, man, I'm just not feeling it right now. So I talked to you earlier about having you on, and I know it was kind of last minute. I originally named this episode Talking with Myself because I was just going to sit here and be BeetleBruice and make jokes all night. Maybe drink a little bit. Just kind of have an adult themed party.
Well, I'm here to enjoy your party with you now.
Right. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you decided to join me. Really am. So yeah, man. The way this thing goes, and you've probably seen it. You've probably seen it several times. I just ask getting to know you questions, and from there, they inevitably, roll right into the conversations or the questions that I generally ask, and there are 5 questions that I came up with. Well, I say I came up with them. I found them on a website, and I thought they'd be really cool to ask. And I answered them myself on episode 1, and I just kind of ask everyone. The fun thing about it is once we do these getting to know you questions, the answers generally just fall right into place. So it's not like I'll ask you anything like how many times you shit your pants in the 3rd grade. No, nothing like that. Just kind of just kind of questions that just so the people at home, there are people out there, I think. Just so people at home, so do I, can kind of get to know you. I would definitely suggest shamelessly plugging yourself. All your socials if you want. I'm all about, SDU Networks is all about positivity, and it's all about helping, even the slightest bit to elevate, people that we have on, and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure. Go ahead and get that out all the way if you want.
So I can just go ahead and jump on the comment section, can I?
Do what?
I see the comment section over here. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So what I'll do is from time to time I'll like Mark. He's one of our good buddies. BeetleBruice got the natural long johns. Yes, they're a bit stretched. They have some holes in them, but they're mine. My wife kind of likes them, I think. So yeah, what I'll do is from time to time, if we get cool comments or if we get even not so cool comments, I'll just click on that button right there and it'll show them or it'll hide them.
Awesome.
Logan Maverick has arrived. I am arrived. What were you before? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So Austin Bolo, that's your work name. You also go
Yes.
by a more
Dark.
sinister.
Let me just go ahead and grab him real quick. Ah!
He's grabbing the ball. He's grabbing the ball gag.
This guy.
Oh, right on.
Mr. Reaper.
Oh, sweet. So yeah, we all have our dark side from time to time that tries to creep out, and then we have to beat it back like it's an escaped convict.
Oh, that's perfect because I have him in a cage right now.
Oh, right on. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, how old are you?
I am 24 years old.
24. I remember when I was 24.
Look, I talked to your wife the other day, and I told her if you don't do a Captain Spaulding outfit next year, I'm going to freak out on you. I think you make a perfect captain.
Wait till the Christmas show.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of crazy ideas. But enough about me. So, 24 years old, living your life, doing your thing. How long you been wrestling?
I hit 6 years in October. Well, this month, yeah.
Wow. The day I turned 24, I drank for 24 hours. Luckily, I was in the Marine Corps, and they kind of gave me a pass. Like, hey, bro, go sit over there while you're at work.
I think I got a majority of my drinking knocked out in college.
Yeah. Right.
That meant I was underage drinking, but who doesn't underage drink?
Look, I joined the Marine Corps at 18. I was drinking for several years before 21. So it is what it is. When were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed at the age of 4.
4. Okay, cool,
Or
cool.
my mom had brought me home from school one day. I got in trouble for being rambunctious in the classroom.
I love that.
And
Rambunctious.
and my mom's like, she called the doctor. She's like, my son is just bouncing off the walls. He will not stop. And not only did I get diagnosed with ADHD, I also got diagnosed with ADD as well.
They generally go hand in hand. I know a lot of I've been diagnosed for several years, and researching to do this podcast and also trying to learn myself. I figured out that a lot of those go hand in hand. So yeah. What were you on any medication?
I was on a lot of medication. So the first medicine they put me on was clonidine. They put me on Concerta, which was to help with my focus in school. The Concerta helped me out tremendously. Then they had me on 2 other medicines. And then when I went back to the doctor when I was 14 before I got reevaluated.
Wow.
Yeah, 14. And they said he doesn't need those 2. He just needs the clonidine for his blood pressure and the Concerta for his focus. And I was like, okay, at 16 years old, Mom, I said, I want to start winning myself off this medicine. I want to be able to live with my condition and be able to focus on my own.
Right, right.
And I will say, my junior year in high school, I did have a lot of trouble. My grades did slip a little bit. I wouldn't say they were like S, but they got down to C's. I was always a straight A student, always a straight A student in school. But whenever 18 rolled around, I think my body finally got to the point where it was like, okay, you don't need this medicine to function. You can focus on your own. And, with wrestling and stuff now, I feel like I can focus in my matches. Like,
slow down, one thing at a time, sir. No, I'm just playing. Hold on, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hi, Debbie. So, yeah, that was leading into my next question. These aren't the 5 questions. So,
awesome.
So how growing up and being on the medication, and I'm sure there was times where like me in the summertime they let me off of it so I can just run wild through the woods, building random crazy things and like exploring places that I probably shouldn't have explored. Did you have anything like that?
They were. I wouldn't say they let me off my medicine. It was more that I forgot to take it.
Right.
That was my excuse. Oh, I forgot to take it. But, there'll be times where she's like, you know what? He can go a day without his medicine. He can go a couple days without his medicine. Then on the 3rd day, my mom would be ready to strangle me.
Right. So, growing up, with the diagnosis at 4, that's right before kindergarten. My doctors or my teachers actually wanted me to be diagnosed younger, but my mom was like, "Nah, he's probably just a kid." And he's probably just hyper. Back in the 80s, that's what it was. That what it was all about. It was just about, oh, he's just hyper. It's no big deal.
He's a boy. It's natural.
He's a boy. Yeah, he's natural. He's just high strung. But happy Halloween, Debbie. What are you going as this year?
Happy Halloween.
I was gonna wait, but I'll pick it back up.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, it wasn't until the 2nd grade that I was diagnosed. So like I was already in school, and I had already been in school for at 3 years at that point. You just got off work, sweet. I got off a little while ago too. Rushed home, dug around in the dirt a little bit, made myself up to look pretty. I think I did a pretty good job. I was dead AT&T. I get that. I'm a zombie. But yeah, like I was saying, I just at that point I kind of knew something was up because like if I could focus, I was getting good grades. If I couldn't focus on the bad days, I would not do good. How was grades in school growing up? Did you have like with your ADHD like since so by the time you were in like the out of kindergarten and like the other grades, I forget you're really young. I am 40. So I was born in 1983. I know that was back before the like
You got
dinosaurs roamed the earth and everything.
you got
Um,
16 years on me.
oh yeah, for real. So
I'm an Akatsuki member.
I think my kid likes that. Is that Naruto? Am I saying it right? Naruto.
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 Yes.
All right. I don't know. I give him a hard time all the time about how to pronounce it and shit like that.
You're the only person in the world.
Stuff like that came out when I was a kid, and I didn't get hooked on it. I got hooked on like BeetleBruice, obviously, and horror movies and action figures, and the only anime that I watched growing up was Sailor Moon, and I'll be completely honest. When she was transforming into a Sailor Scout, I thought there was going to be one of those little times. Nah,
where you pop
right. Animators were like, no, we understand who is watching this, and we're not allowing that to happen.
I think the first one I really watched and that was probably close to that time was Inuyasha, and I think that came out in the 90s.
Debbie wants to know where your costume is. He's got his robe. He's a member of the
Akatsuki.
He's a member of the what?
Akatsuki.
Akatsuki.
There you go.
I read that as Akatsuki.
That's what everybody does.
Shows how cultured I am. So yeah. As a kid in the 80s, they really didn't know. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. They didn't know what all that stuff was. BeetleBruice. I love it. So I thought about I did this outfit. I did this outfit Saturday, and a couple of Halloween shows happened this weekend. And I was really excited at the reaction that I got. Out of everybody at the shows, me and I think one other guy really went all out with makeup, and being the king of the monsters, I thought it fit.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, David, thank you. Gosh, dang it. Sorry, I have this bad habit of never making my video public, so all the comments never get seen. Oh, better privacy, public. Aha! And I'm back. So yeah, let me know what kind of tips and tricks did you have? Did you learn? Because like I was going into the 9th grade, and for me, it was take ADHD medicine. Don't have the possibility of joining the military. And coming into the 90s, in my mind, I had already made it up that I was going to be a United States Marine. So thanks, Sergeant Slaughter, you dick. I say that because he wasn't a Marine, and he tricked me. But he was a GI Joe, so that makes up for it. So they told me that if I took medication through the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, that I wouldn't be able to join the military. So I was like, I had the talk with my mom, and so we agreed that I would come off of it, and if I needed it, I could always go back, or we could test another option, of some kind. But that's kind of how it went. Yeah, see, me too, except for that second one. Not really sure what that is.
Inuyasha, the one I was talking to you about.
Oh, okay. So my wife's sister, she was big into that growing up. Hey, real quick, shameless plug. I'll be there this Saturday. Right? So yeah, like I said, you're 18. You're like, I'm gonna get off this stuff, and I'm gonna live my life. I feel like I can handle it. What was that like? Let us know.
Getting off the medicine. Uh, I actually got off.
Sorry, go
I got
ahead.
off. I got off the medicine actually when I was 16,
That's what I
and
meant.
like I said at first, like I didn't feel anything, like it felt normal, and then whenever 17 started creeping in, about a year without it, I was like, why can't I focus? I feel like everything's got my attention at once. I can't focus. And then finally, I sat down with the school counselor, and they're like, "What can we do to help with your grades? Because you're a straight A student, Bolo. I'm not going to use my real name."
Right, right, right.
And they're like, "Just sit down, and we're going to do a little test with you." And they're doing these different things for me to focus on the computer, and I would look, and they're like, "Now, Bolo, take your time and just study each picture, and then tell me what the difference is." Like it would be like difference in the pictures. That way, I had something to catch my focus. And then I was like, "Oh my god, I can just ways I worked around it was like if I was reading a book and I had to write a paragraph on the book for an essay, I would reread the same paragraph 3 times. That
Right,
way,
right.
okay, I've got it. I know what I'm writing about. Start jotting stuff down. So it was a slow transition, and then I got to the point where I could read it once and like, okay, I got it.
Uh, no, are you listening? Are you reading the comments too?
Yes, I am. I am.
Oh, sweet. I do the same thing. Absolutely, Mark. When I became a sergeant of Marines, all of my Marines were maggots and pond scum, and obviously, it was just I was a walking pop culture reference of the '80s and early '90s. So everybody just knew that when I talked, it was going to be the wife was watching the show. God, she
Uh
loves me so
oh.
much.
Uh oh.
She says it was an accident, but
Uh huh.
it wasn't an
Yeah.
accident,
It
ladies
was.
and
She did it
gents.
on purpose.
Aaron, what's going on, brother? Good seeing you. Uh, so yeah, I just lost track of my thoughts. You were
It happens.
saying, yeah,
Uh,
you were
Basically,
saying,
it was just a slow transition into from being able to focus with medicine to being able to focus without medicine. That it was just a very
I got
slow
you,
transition.
I got you. Um, Dude, I've tell people this all the time, and if you've watched one episode, you've heard me say, well, not one. If you watch episode one, I was really talking to myself. Uh, Bruce the Juice McGowan. Yes, yes. It's funny. I've been spelling Bruce like juice, but with a BR. So yeah, I did the same thing, man. And like I was saying, one thing that I've noticed is I don't care how old we are, I don't care where we're from. Um, all of us with ADHD and ADD, we're like the same peas in a pod. And that's the cool thing about it. I feel like we're a secret society of like-minded individuals. Um, yeah, right. Yeah, because our brain chemicals are wired different. Stuff that would normally make somebody happy, it bores us. Once we've got the fun out of it, and our brain has produced as much dopamine as it's going to produce, we're off to the next thing.
Oh my god, I'm so glad
Um,
you said that because I literally was just sitting in my recliner and I just beat a game I was playing and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to go play my other games. I'm literally bored of my game. And I just sat in my recliner.
right,
I
right.
just sat there because I was like, I don't want to do anything. I tried to turn TV on. I was like, I'm bored of this. And that's why I said, oh my god, I'm so glad you texted me and asked me to be on the show because now I
Right,
have
right.
something that's got my attention.
Yeah. Um, so Yeah, man. So let's go from 16 to when you stop taking. Um, God of War, Dakota, you're God of War. Sweet.
Thank you.
I wish you guys would. I wish there was a way. Actually, there is a way. If y'all guys have my information, Bruce McGowan on Facebook. Send me pictures of you in your costumes, and I will make sure this episode, because this is the Halloween extravaganza week for Special Dummies Unit SDU Networks. Um, I want to put them up. I want to show them off. God of War question? No, Beetlejuice.
I can see where they think you look like Kratos almost, but
Well,
the purple eyes change it because there's no purple on Kratos.
right. Well, I think that's just my face. Once I paint my face up white, then it just kind of, when I first got out of the Marine Corps, I had a little goatee. Well, I had a goatee because I was like, you know what, I'm growing facial hair. This for 6 years I wasn't able to have any facial hair, shaving like every day. So I'm gonna do it. So I grew a goatee, and then when I started working, everybody, I when I got out of the Marine Corps, I tried wearing earrings again. Couldn't do it. Something in my beard, y'all. Yeah. Okay, got it. What is
I wish you.
well, maybe. So yeah, a lot of people that I worked with were like, "Bro, you look just like Kratos," and I'm like, "No, it's just because I've got resting bitch face. It just looks like I'm angry all the time."
Never seen Beetlejuice.
Oh,
Oh my God! It's an
Dakota,
active war.
Dakota. Hold on. You got to go watch it, bro. Look, it's Halloween tonight, today. It's Halloween. Put it on your bucket list.
It's only 8:30. You have plenty of time to watch it.
It's 8:30. Yeah, you can watch it anytime. Okay, guys, do me a favor and don't drag Dakota in the comments. Some people aren't as cultured as others. He'll get there. Oh, dude, I'm so excited for Beetlejuice 2. I just hope they don't ruin it like they've done with several other classic movies. Last Thursday we were talking about the new Ghostbusters Afterlife, and how like I literally bawled my eyes out when Egon was a ghost and he was busting with the crew.
Yeah, that was a moment.
Yeah, oh, for real, it was super cool. Massive freaking hit me in my childhood feels. So yeah, I was saying that we all are pretty much the same. Sorry, I'm getting.
It's all good. I'm right there with you.
Oh, David said his phone's glitching. He'll watch later. Okay, so this part of the show is for David. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you this Saturday. We're gonna beat up some people. I miss your musk. Sorry. Right? Honk honk. Yeah, they're making Beetlejuice too. Come on. Yeah. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's super cool. Is that like an Ed Hardy cup?
It is. It's exactly what it is.
Sweet.
I got a whole collection of them.
That's cool. Look what the wife bought me.
Hell yeah, Roddy Piper.
Yep. WWE Superstars. It's like the classic He-Man figures. So super cool. If y'all guys are watching and you're jealous, it's because my wife loves me more than your wife loves you.
That's crazy. I was born in '99, and my mom forced me to watch Beetlejuice when I was a kid.
It was a staple, bro. It's a staple. Like all of my kids' all of my kids have watched it. Like I almost forced them to. Whoa, we're standing now. What are we doing?
I'm refilling my tea.
Oh, dope. Okay. Nice. So yeah, you can hear what I'm saying. So I'll just talk, and when you're done, you can fill it in. So one thing that I did, and one thing that I find that several guys do is they learn little tips and tricks on how to wrestle with ADHD. You see what I did there? I have to, I have to. It's in my contract. I have to at least get it in one show.
Get your cat
Mark,
in them.
Mark, don't feel. I'll get hit if I don't.
You like my Father's
I
Day
got
gift back there?
I got bruises all up and down my back from no crabby attitudes. I dig that. That's cool. So since we're showing off,
My son got that for me.
that's dope. I dig that.
You know, as a kid growing up and looking at stuff like that, going to like little country stores and stuff, I was like, I'm never gonna own anything like that ever in my entire life.
Right.
But when you have kids and you get older, you're like, holy cow, I love this. Get this for me.
Yeah. Thank God. Hey, Dakota, I am so glad that you're with a upstanding, fine, cultured woman. Tell her, if she's listening, thank you so much. You have really done a huge service to film watching and fans of film. Did I share that already? I did. Yep. Okay. Cool.
So you know what season it is, right?
Of what?
You know what season it is. It's Harry
Yeah,
Potter season. It's Harry Potter season.
Oh, what made you think of Thundercats when you saw it, Debbie? I'm not no selling your comment about Harry Potter. No, I just was wondering what she was talking about. I'm lost in the thing. Like I was saying, over the years, from 16 to where you're at right now, what are some things that you? I know growing up you had medication and that helped with the focus and stuff, but what are some things that you did outside of medication to help you wrestle with ADHD?
This is actually a fun thing that I've actually never shared with anybody in the wrestling community before. When
you're getting a ADHD WB exclusive.
Oh yeah,
That's a mouthful.
When I was in third grade, I couldn't control my temper. I feel like that also was something that go in with my ADHD. So my mom had me put in martial arts, and I did it all the way from 9 to 16. And we had these training principles. It's an Ed Hardy Cup.
Yeah. It's like old Sailor Jerry tattoos. It's got a tiger and like a hula girl. It's pretty cool. Cool actually. Several years ago, in the early 2000s, Ed Hardy had a clothing line, and
they blew up.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I allot time for tomfoolery and chicanery.
That's fine. We got it. Anyways, I got put in martial arts, and I did it from 9. I said 16 to begin with, but I lied. It was 18. I did it all the way up to my senior year in high school. But my senior year, I just had a lot of stuff going on, applying for colleges and whatnot. But I made it all the way up to first degree black belt in martial arts.
Wow!
I graduated.
Badass.
Yes, I graduated teaching school so I could own my own dojo.
Sweet.
I opened my own dojo, but the guy never paid me, so I had to close it down.
Right.
Yes. Anyways, I opened my own dojo. I'm a master in 2 different weapons. a strimma stick, and bow staff.
Cool.
And I have my trophies and stuff are all over at my mom's house. I'd love to get them out and show them, but I can't. But
I will 100%. I will 100% believe you. Because I don't want to make you angry.
it's okay. But
I'm a
anyways,
badass, but I'm not a ninja. So
I I did teach self defense classes. We had all kinds of self defense. I know jiu-jitsu, I know judo, and I know taekwondo. I also know what's that? Tai Chi. Tai Chi is the art of breathing. I know Tai Chi too. Actually, one moment. I think I have this with me.
oh, showtime.
Yes. I think it's in my closet. I believe.
So
Is
on
my, is my
so
bell rack
on
over here?
so on this episode of In Bed with Bruce, we've got Austin Bolo.
Is hidden. So it is hidden in the closet right now, but it's my belt rack with all my martial arts belts on them. I do have
That is badass. That's really badass. Man, that's so cool. Like I tell people all the time that I've done more in the 40 years that I've been alive than most people do in 90. But that right there is legit. Like learning a martial art and the focus that it comes with to do that. Um, one thing that I've learned in researching this and deciding to go about doing this ADHD podcast is to really realize that a lot of the things that we do with ADHD, we tend more to lean towards um, single player sports, so to speak, because like correct me if I'm wrong, but with martial arts there's nobody there with you that you know that can help you along the way. It's not like you're what I mean by that is it's not like you're relying on a teammate to get the ball across the finish line.
no. You're strictly by yourself. You're at a
It's
class full
all
of
you.
students learning by
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. And the grading system is the same way. They don't focus on the team effort. Like you have to learn these things, and you have
You're
to do
judged
it.
by rank.
Right,
You've
right.
got your beginners, you got your intermediate levels, then you got your black belts.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is really it's on you.
Yeah.
It's you by yourself learning the stuff, learning the techniques, doing everything. Like I said, you can't have somebody to help you across the finish line. When it's test time, it's
No, they did not make me walk across hot stones.
but he did have to kill a relative
I did. That's how I got
with
my
his
Mangekyo
bare
stone on.
hands. I tell people all the time that's how I became a Marine. Had to kill a family member.
He was on that seafood diet. You seafood, you eat it.
Hey,
I am too, so don't feel bad.
right. Food is good, so eat it. Eat it while you can.
I'm bringing it to OCW Saturday night.
You are singing to me, beautiful. But yeah, one thing I realized is like wrestling, like the Greco-Roman style, that karate, any of the martial arts. For us older people, adults, for the adults in the room that decide to do it, professional wrestling, it is almost when you find a new hobby that you love doing, you do it well. So I look at professional wrestling that way. We love wrestling. We love everything about it. So we want to do it well. So we're always learning, and it's not something that somebody can learn for us and be like, oh, hey, he's good. That guy's good now. No, it's something that we have to. We have to look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm lacking here. Somebody search it out, find somebody who knows how to do it, and just say, hey, teach me because I want to learn. So people with ADHD, if you look in professional wrestling, there's a lot of guys, a whole lot of guys that a lot of famous guys, not just us local guys, locally famous guys, but a lot of nationally and world famous guys that are wrestlers. What what do you mean? Like what Bolo's talking about? No, no, I don't know karate. I don't know ninja stuff. I call it that, and I hope that's not a slap in the face or a slight.
It's
Um,
not.
okay, good. No, what I teach is professional wrestling. I teach things I've learned from so many talented guys over the years, and I feel like if somebody is willing to listen to me and if somebody is willing to learn, then it's my obligation to teach them. So
And you do an amazing job, by the way, Bruce.
thank you. I appreciate that. Um, all jokes aside, I love teaching it. I love when people come to me and say, Bruce, teach me how to do this thing. And I try not to. I will teach somebody to the fullest of my ability. I'll teach them everything that I know. That way they can have the same tools as I've got. Um, so getting into my questions, I should probably write these down, but they are on my phone.
Understandable. Well, while you're looking those up, fun fact, I don't know if you watch my matches, I actually incorporate my Taekwondo into my moveset.
I've actually meant to ask you about that several times. Like I didn't have a hand in training you, but I was around you when you were coming up, and
Exactly.
how was that curve? Well, I mean, I understand like wrestling. What we do is an art form. Martial arts is also an art form. So like with the techniques in wrestling, how was that? How did that translate from your martial arts background? Was it really hard? I've taught some MMA guys, and they say the hardest part is not hitting someone as absolutely hard as they possibly can.
Well, see, in the style that I was in, I learned how to bump. I learned how to fall. When we take bumps, we almost fall exactly the same as we do in wrestling. Uh, in the type of martial arts I was in, when we sparred, like when we sparred in class, we had pads. We
Right.
had but we had those pads that had focal points on them that you aimed for to make you stronger and more lethal, if that makes sense. But
To me, it absolutely does. What he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, there's certain points on your body that are soft spots. They're more susceptible to the pain receptors, and if you can train those points to to um, to receive a degree of pain, in a lot of ways, it makes you invincible. In a fight, or it makes your body stronger to be able to kind of just get hit in those points and be able to continue fighting.
you have a lot of hidden points on your body. Your neck is one of the most susceptible parts, but there's a lot of hidden parts in your neck because your neck is really thick, and some people's necks are smaller than others. But you just got to know where to hit where. And
Right.
I'm not telling y'all to go out there and kill each other now.
No. Look, I'll be the first to tell you this, and I'm sure Austin will say the exact same thing. If you want to learn these things, find somebody who teaches, because if you just go out and look, this is for professional wrestling as well. If you just go out in your backyard and you start throwing each other around, somebody's going to get seriously hurt. I don't know if they do it much anymore, but when I was a kid, and even even a couple of years ago, WWE used to put out that little thing at the beginning, little
Don't try this
bumper.
at
Don't
home.
try this at home. Professionals are doing this. So yeah, that goes for everything. Honestly, I want everybody to be as safe and have as much fun as possible. And if you're injured, no fun. So that being said, if you want to learn, man, go out and find. There's people all over the place that are really good teachers and really good at what they do. So
You
thank you, I appreciate that. So yeah, let's get into these questions real quick, and a lot of them you've already answered. So like I said earlier, it's just gonna kind of roll into the others.
cool.
Question number one: how did ADHD affect you growing up?
Honestly, man, growing up, I didn't think about my ADHD. I just thought I was a boy. Like we talked about earlier, we're perceived to be rowdy and rambunctious.
Right.
We're boys. We're hyper. We like to go out, play, run hard until we pass out. But like I never used my ADHD as a crutch.
Not at all. Never.
No. I saw it as okay. This is a challenge. Overcome it.
Yes. And in a lot of ways, that's the most important message of wrestling with ADHD. I want people to see, maybe not this episode because I'm dressed up as Beetlejuice, but and it's Halloween, so there's a theme. But in the majority of the episodes, and I try to say this at least once an episode, I want people to understand that having ADHD doesn't mean you're broken, doesn't mean you're damaged goods, doesn't mean you can't learn, doesn't mean that you're anything but the way that you were created, and that's cool. That's just fine. People with ADHD and other things of that nature, we learn differently. So maybe just if you haven't learned it yet, maybe find somebody who can teach you, or maybe find a different way of learning it. I love that.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh no, you're cool. No, you're okay. So one thing I will say is, like, growing up for me, I kindergarten, first grade, the beginning of the second grade, I thought I was a broken toy. I thought I couldn't learn. I thought I was stupid. I thought, because I tried so hard to just sit and pay attention.
That's an interesting question. Put that on the screen.
Yeah.
I would say that we're not just Arkansas wrestlers, because the term Arkansas wrestler would mean you generally just stay in Arkansas. But there's a lot of guys, especially at the company that we work at, Bruce, that have expanded outside of Arkansas. Me and you both. We both worked in Missouri. We both worked in Tennessee. We've traveled.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it was a hard lesson for me to learn early in my career that it's not everybody's goal to travel the world with wrestling. Me personally, it absolutely is. I want to see all these cool places, and if wrestling can facilitate that, why not let it? You know what I'm saying?
And we can meet all these amazing people.
Oh, like, yeah, I absolutely love traveling to some place I've never been and meeting some guys that I've only seen on the internet.
Was it Donovan we went to, and we had almost that whole gym packed out?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't
400 people.
Easy.
And they catered to us. They took care of us. Like, and all those people that I talked to that night were super, super sweet.
This is a bit of, for me, this is a bit of an open-ended question. If Austin, if you want to answer first, you can.
I will.
Okay.
Sure will. Growing up, I was like, I want to be like Edge. Edge was my hero. This isn't any secret to anybody in the locker room or my fans or anything. For God's sake, look at my hair and look at my moveset. Anyways, but WWE was the goal, but when you get into this world of professional wrestling, there's so many routes you can take. There's NWA, there's New Japan. There's OVW. There's now AEW, and I didn't know if you saw, but TNA is also back now.
Yeah.
TNA is back. You have so many options to go now. Like you said, it's an open-ended question.
Holy crap, Quentin!
Oh, it's Poker Face.
What's up, Poke? How you doing, brother? Good seeing you. Shout out to a good friend, like Poker, the guy that took me under his wing and polished me up. Used to work with Poker Face many years ago, and I can remember when I first got booked at a show for Poker Face. I called the guy, my guy, and I was giddy as a schoolgirl. The first thing he told me was show up 3 hours early, and if you don't train with him, your head's gonna roll. So I absolutely made sure that I was there early, and I did get to train with him, and I learned valuable lessons that I teach guys today. So yeah, back to the this question real quick. Yeah, many different avenues. So when I started 14 years ago, the goal, the dream, the light at the end of the tunnel, whatever you want to call it. I call it a dream, but we all have dreams, and to the best of our abilities as wrestlers, we're living those dreams. So that being said, the end game was to get that contract, because in a lot of guys' eyes, when I started, especially, the WWE was the top of the mountain.
That was the promised land.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was the pot of gold. It was the rest after a long traveled trip. You know what I'm saying? It was the end all and be all of places to be, places to land, if you were good enough, and if you were, got noticed or had an opportunity to do it. So that being said, when I first started, I absolutely had that goal of the WWE.
And that's still a lot of us guys' goal.
Oh no, and I'm not saying that dream has ever went away, because like the 10-year-old in me would literally be bouncing off the walls if that ever happened.
If Triple H came up to me and said, "Here's a WWE contract. We need you to lose your first 100 matches, but you're a WWE." Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. And without getting super heavy into inside baseball, that just, to me, that's it's almost like it's just the icing on the cake. It's the cherry on top. Over the years, though, and I used to define the WWE as making it. Over the years, though, my definition of making it has drastically changed from when I first started. I recognize a lot of the business side of professional wrestling, and I know that making it really is paying your bills while doing something that you love doing. And through merchandise, through networking, through bookings, through this, that, and the other, and the third. If you can pay your bills with professional wrestling, you made it. Because what the WWE provides is really security, stability. Yeah, it is a hefty paycheck. And all you have to do is show up and do what you're already good at doing.
Exactly.
So that being said, a career in the WWE would be super freaking sweet. The travel schedule is insane though, but sometimes you sacrifice one thing for another. That being said, where I'm at,
birthdays, holidays,
right,
everything, but you're building a future for your family.
Absolutely. So that being said, I just feel like, making it in general is, being able to support my family with wrestling. And even at 40 years old, I see that window still wide open to be able to eventually do that. Dakota, real quick, noticed a lot of wrestlers from Arkansas just stay in Arkansas. Wrestlers from Texas and Louisiana and Tennessee and Florida, I've noticed they wrestle everywhere. Um, the scene the scene in those states, the wrestling scene in those states is a lot bigger, and a lot bigger scale than Arkansas. I will say that if I do ever make it, the only thing I'm gonna ask in my contract is that they say that I'm from Arkansas every time that I go to the ring. You know what I'm saying? When they announce me, I'll definitely wear Arkansas on my sleeve and carry it on my back. I was born here. I live here. Uh, Most of my friends are here. So yeah, I would definitely want to sort of give something back in the lines of giving props to the state that made me. Um, I've noticed that a lot too, but they're out there. They're out there, Dakota. If there was a time travel, I'd love to see y'all face.
It looks like we got a tag team match now, Bruce.
Right, right. Look, I would have loved to work them. Them 100 losses is still a win by being in the WWE top company and being seen worldwide. But with social media, YouTube, and apps, even indie talent can be seen. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. The game that we play now is the same game, but it's changed so much because you're right. Werewolves Den, Arkansas. Right, right. So I have been asked several times when I was going to get my pack stood up, and I've been thinking about it. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I can train some little wolf pups. Maybe I can turn a few people to the right way of thinking. We'll see what happens. I feel like Arkansas gets overlooked because there's people that it's in Arkansas. I've already been there. And see, that's the thing. A lot of those guys that you mentioned, Jonathan Holt, Cassandra Golden, Kay Toomer, Matt Riviera, Carter Matthews, D Mike. I don't, not D Mike. I'm not, and this is not me talking down about anything. The names that I mentioned already have a working relationship with the WWE. With background work and with other stuff that those opportunities lead to bigger and better opportunities. In fact, a couple of years ago, Jonathan Holt and Carter Matthews, they wrestled the Viking War Party in Little Rock. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool actually to say I shared the ring with both of those fine young men. But no, Dakota, you're right, man. There's a lot of guys, and I don't know what it is because, well, okay, I will say this, and this is just an example. Um, if you look on social media right now, if you look on my page, this weekend I wrestled in Little Rock, and then I turned around and on Sunday I went and I wrestled in Memphis. I'm a professional wrestler. I go where I'm booked, and as a professional wrestler, if you look at the old Channel 5 Memphis Wrestling, uh, there was a lot of those guys on that roster that were from Arkansas, but they traveled to Tennessee. They traveled to Memphis to get an opportunity, and a lot of those guys, really capitalized on those opportunities. The Moondogs being one of them. They're from Osceola. Uh, that's in Arkansas for those that didn't know. Um, Freezer Thompson. Some might say that he was a glorified jobber, but he still had a job. And me personally, that's how I look at that. Like, Wins and losses are exactly what they are, wins and losses. You lose a match, you go back to the drawing board, you go back and hit the training mat, and, maybe you succeed the next time. But a lot of those guys that I grew up watching, and that a lot of guys, were influenced by, they were from Arkansas. So yeah. I completely forgot to mention Mike Anthony. Yeah, I don't even know why that slipped. I was reading off all those names. All of them, all of those guys, all of those guys and girl, super freaking talented. And I can proudly say that I may not be as talented as some of those people, but I've gotten to wrestle with them, against them, and at the same shows with them. So and that's just a personal opinion of myself. So don't go thinking that I don't, that I'm not talented. I just think that I'm shit. So it is what it is. So yeah, see, so those guys, they got such a great opportunity. If it weren't for jobbers, enhancement talent, the greatest legends. You're absolutely right. People remember the Hulk Hogans and the Ric Flairs and the Stings and the, nowadays you got your Roman Reigns and your Seth Rollins, and everybody remembers all those people. But if it wasn't for guys willing to take the fall, if the guys wouldn't to do the job, that's the whole definition of a jobber. You do the job that's asked of you, and you have a job. You work, which is more than some people can say.
You still have a career.
Yeah, you still have a career, and I don't know how many guys that taught me coming up, that wrestled a lot of the big names that dominated the Attitude Era. So yeah, that's absolutely right. It's not so much, and I don't look at it so much as jobbing. Actually, I look at it as doing business. I'm not gonna go into the like I said before, I'm not going to go into the inside baseball of professional wrestling, because I still sort of like to keep a little bit of kayfabe. But if I show up and my name happens to be in the losers column, that doesn't make me a loser. That makes me a guy that can be trusted to put the new talent over and to do the job without getting my feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it all boils down to. So yeah, that's that. We got off on a huge tangent, and I absolutely love it. Question number 2: how has ADHD affected your wrestling career?
My wrestling career, honestly, I don't think it has, man. Like, I have it, but like I said back in the previous question, I've grown to live with it.
Right. And we all have. Some people have a better grasp on it than others. And I'll go into detail afterwards. But that's super cool. So it's in a lot of ways you've not let it. Happy Halloween, Big said. You've not let it affect you, and that's really super cool. Me, on the other hand, I have a grasp of it outside of the wrestling business and inside the wrestling business for the most part. But I used to have a real bad habit of forgetting that I had ADHD, and then I would end up screwing everything up because I couldn't remember anything. My memory is not the best in the world.
Now that you said something like that, that kind of takes me back to my first year in the business. I wasn't really wrestling a lot. I was wrestling once a month, not every weekend, once a month in Missouri.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
I was working monthly shows, and I felt like I had the experience, but I would get in the ring, and one of the vets would be like, "All right, this is what we're going to do." And
right,
poof, gone.
Right, and look, I've been there. Now that you've been wrestling for a little bit longer, I'm sure that you've probably been there too. Get in the ring with somebody that maybe hasn't been in the business a long time. You haven't seen their work. You haven't really got to see what they can do. So, being the one with more time in, you try to just to help them out by just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna make it super simple. I'm gonna call your stuff. I'm gonna call my stuff, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna have a decent match."
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like sometimes, because I know when I was coming up, I was the same way. I was like, well, I know all these things and I've done all these things, but because you haven't seen them, you don't think I know my ass from a hole in the ground.
And I have a lot of people to thank for helping me at the very beginning of my career, especially in Missouri. And
Yeah,
I want to go ahead and shout out one of those people, and you know him very well, Trent Daniels. He he
absolutely.
he
I
had
love Trent.
a big impact on my career at the very beginning of it. I will say that we shared the ring several times, but like you said, he was the guy that had the experience, and I was over here, the new guy coming in, and be like, "This is what we're gonna do, and this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna make sure you look good, but I'm gonna make sure I look good."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, absolutely.
And,
Interesting fun fact. Several years ago, when I first met Trent, uh, I, do the customary thing where you shake people's hands and you introduce yourself. Uh, Trent introduced himself as, "Hi, I'm Trent. I used to be a woman," and I was look, I this was a couple, probably 6 7 years ago, and I I
Ooh.
was like, I've heard of these people, but I don't think I'd ever met one. So I was trying my absolute best to not open my mouth and insert all of the feet. Um, because if I do one thing, I try to be professional. So
Also, congratulations to Trent Daniels on his first heavyweight title. He won.
right, right. Congratulations. Hey, Mark's got a question. You'll probably say Edge, but excluding Edge, if you could sit with a legend under his or her learning tree, who would you choose?
Ooh, that's a good question. If I could pick one legend, honestly, Sting, man. I feel like Sting has got a really, really, really great mind, and I feel like I could really learn a lot from him, even though he's literally about to retire
Right,
again.
but look,
Again,
again, but look, me personally, it's Roddy Piper. And the thing about Sting, he has been, well, I mean, he was my childhood. Him and Ric Flair, of course, all the WWF guys, but Sting was there for a lot of influential matches that I watched growing up, and I would love to, even if he is retired. I told the guy that took me under his wing and polished me up years and years ago, I could learn more about wrestling by sitting and just listening to you and some of the older vets just talk about how wrestling used to be, than I could from hours and hours in the ring, learning from a guy. And that's really because I am an old school trained wrestler, and I just love that whole era, uh, if you would call it that. So yeah, even if he was retired, man, you could learn worlds from Sting.
and
Um,
if it wasn't Sting, man, there's two other guys that I like because growing up, I started in the WWF WWE transition, and I was watching people like Snitsky, Tommy Dreamer, Jeff Hardy, but my mom told me go back. So if I was picking two certified legends, it would be Jimmy Snuka or Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
I interesting that you mentioned that. I well, Hold on one second. There it is. Okay, so I learned this. I learned this at a seminar not too long ago, and this is a lesson that I actually learned in my first couple of years of wrestling. Don't just steal the style. Steal the thinking behind the style. You don't want to look like your heroes. You want to see like your heroes. Love that quote. Um, Watch the guys that you love watching. Who did they watch? You know what I'm saying? So Sting, like who taught Sting? What did Sting learn from? Who was he around? I absolutely love that, and I put this up here because I actually had several opportunities in my career to actually sit under the learning tree of Jimmy Valiant, and I just got to, I got to learn so much about how the business was ran and how the business was done from him, and it's one of those things that I could never stress the importance of just being able to have that sit down and it wasn't 101. It in the locker room just talking to him, but yeah, it was super cool. Austin, what is
Oh my
up?
God, it's my boy Austin Bolo.
So yeah, learning stuff like that was just so super cool. Getting those opportunities to just sit and listen, and just to be a sponge, just soaking everything in as much as humanly possible. Um, so yeah, question number 4. What are some positives? Give me a few of them, and what are some positives and negatives of wrestling with ADHD for you?
So some positives, in my opinion, would probably be, man, like you said, it alters our way of thinking. Like we don't think like a normal person does.
Right. A normal person will see the question, or they will study the thing, and then they'll do the test or whatever, and it's done. For people with ADHD, it's more of a breakdown. The why am I doing this? What is my body doing here? I want to be able to do this the way it's supposed to be done. It's more of a technical breakdown, because we want to pull as much dopamine from a situation as we can.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to do it the right way. So for me, it's more of an analytical thing. Like I want to break it down. Several years ago, I learned. I was in college and I learned to paint, and I did art before, but when I was taught how to paint, I really focused on the masters of painting and their techniques, and the brushes that they used, and the strokes, and the oil paints, and the acrylics, and all the everything that made what they did so masterful. So that being said, for me, ADHD kind of forced me, but in a good way, to really dig deep and learn different styles, and be able to reproduce those with my own little twist to it. So that's what we mean by our brains work differently. We yeah. So
Austin Mulitalo, we can run it back. We can have Austin versus Austin, number 4.
oh man, Austin, the name on a pole match.
We're gonna have to, because this is the 4th time we'd be working each other.
Right.
Another positive I found with having ADHD, I feel like ideas just bounce,
Yes.
bounce, and I feel like I can get so much more creative with matches. Like I don't know if you watched my I Quit match from last Saturday.
Oh yeah, I watched. I was at Little Rock, but I watched every match, and I thought everyone was good. Was real good, actually. Everybody did great.
And the finish of the match, I'm like, oh my God, let me cut his head off with the side. How many times have you seen someone try to cut someone's head off in wrestling? Very few.
Very few, yeah.
But it's just like you said. We think different, but it's a good different. You know what I'm saying? And like I just feel like my creative juices are always flowing. Like I've always got something in my head that I can pump out. Negatives with ADHD. I feel like a lot of people get lost when I try talking to them because, like I said, my juices flow really, really fast. Because once I get something, you can relate to this. Once my creative juices get flowing, they don't stop.
Right.
And it's hard. I don't know because I don't know what normal is anymore.
Well, look, I just want to say our normal is not. Normal is subjective, but for people with ADHD, our normal is maybe hectic to others. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
What's normal for the spider is terror to the fly. Stuff like that.
But like I said, I feel like people really can't level with me. Like I could be up here with ideas, and they're trying to catch up. They're trying to catch up because I said something here 5 minutes ago, but now I'm here, and they're still here from 5 minutes ago. And, I know I can get confusing when I'm talking to people because I've seen people look at me and be like, "Bolo, slow the hell down, man. Just give me a second to process this." I mean, I understand that. It's not hard. Like it's hard for some people, and it's hard for not others. Because some people that I share locker rooms with, I've shared with them for years.
Yeah.
It's just, I think the only negative is I feel like my type of thinking is different from other type of people's thinking.
Right. I actually, when I started doing this, or when I started talking to people about doing this ADHD podcast, I had several people look at me weird, like, "You've got ADHD?" Like, yeah, man, I've been dealing with it my whole life, wrestling with ADHD my whole life. So, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it makes so much more sense now." And it's one of those things where you don't just shake hands and introduce yourself like, "Hi, I'm Bruce. I have ADHD." No. You try to keep it, for me, I just try to keep it to myself because I want to handle the craziness my own way. And without, with the least amount of hands in it as humanly possible. Exactly. And sometimes that ends up affecting, for me personally, sometimes it ends up affecting the match because, like you said, I could be going 90 mile an hour. As soon as I get an idea in my head, me personally, I latch on. I hyper focus on that idea, and in wrestling, the fast-paced world of professional wrestling, Cornell, you're not lying. So in that aspect, I I just go and I go and I go. And some guys don't keep up, and then I'm like, oh, and then I get in my head and I'm like, well, I was just too fast, and I should have slowed down, or I should have not been hyper focused. And sometimes it leads to not the best outcome when it comes to grading a match. But in that light, when I started doing this ADHD podcast, and a lot more people knew that I had ADHD, it was almost like some weight was lifted off my shoulders, because then people were like, okay, well, let's work with this guy, let's help him out, instead of just being like, oh, well, he just doesn't listen, and he's just a guy that hyper focuses on different things, and kind of just shoo him into a corner. It really goes a long way to getting the point across a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I understand what you're saying.
So that being said, some ways it can be a negative. I look at it as a superpower. I'm a comic book geek.
We've talked about that.
Obviously, I'm an action figure nerd, but I look at it as a superpower. when somebody is focusing on this, dude, my mind's over here and it's already doing, I've already planned past that and I'm on to the next thing.
You're on plan A and I'm over here on plan E.
Right. And it's weird. Sometimes I look at it as a negative because I've got to slow myself down, almost dumb myself down to make it fit. And then some other times I can, I'm just right there in the moment. I'm focused and I'm ready to go. And if I have an end goal, my brain can, generally really quick come up with a way to get there.
I don't know where I sat mine down at.
Dude, I used to be a heavy smoker, and 2 months and like 2 weeks ago, I quit smoking cigarettes, and I just got bored with it. You know what I'm saying? Move on to the next thing. And just so happens that
jump on the trend.
Right, jump on the trend. Yeah. Hold on.
I got an Amber Alert.
Ladies and gentlemen, you probably got this on your phone already. Elijah Jackson Wayne Everett, 3 days old, is missing from his Little Rock home. Witnesses said he was abducted by Jessica Leone Keltner, 38, a white female with brown dyed hair, brown eyes, last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt. With her was an unknown black male, slim build, about 6'4" tall, wearing a red shirt. If you have seen this woman, if you've seen this man, if you've seen this baby, please do your part and help out, and let's see if we can't get this kid home. I have 5 watchers right now. There'll be more afterwards, but that's unfortunate. I hope everything,
especially on Halloween, man.
Yeah, I just hope everything works out.
And you know what's crazy? I'm all the way over here in Missouri, and I'm getting Amber Alerts for Arkansas.
Right. Well, that's a big deal. So I hope everything works out there.
Prayers out to the families.
Absolutely. Prayers out to them. Yeah, that's what I was saying, yo.
Which song was that?
That was my wife.
Oh. I'm in trouble.
No. I've said this before, and on other podcasts that I'm a part of, I don't have a super cool man spot. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're laying in bed with Bruce. Right.
BeetleBruice is over tonight.
BeetleBruice is over. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Lucas Tubbs, happy Halloween, bud. So question number 5, and it seems to be like you had a pretty good run as a kid with ADHD. So yeah, I will say that, Mark. You're absolutely right, dude. I found out about No Pity today, and I was heartbroken. Really super good guy. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Just a moment of silence for him, because again, he was well loved around this area. Another traveler, another Arkansas wrestler that was making waves. So oh gosh, dude, when I saw the news this morning, I was at work and I was sick, dude. I was miserable.
I was heartbroken, man.
Which, yeah, same here. And I can't even imagine how his family's, hope his family's, working through this, and just hope that they're, I do pray. So I pray that, God holds them and keeps them close and comforts them.
I'm glad we were able to have him a couple months ago back at the
arena. Yeah. Oh yeah. Seeing him was great. He
always had a smile on his face, man.
Absolutely. Had a smile on his face. Really super cool guy. I heard it said, in the wrestling business, there's guys that are just dudes, and then there's guys that are brothers, and Smitty,
Smitty was definitely a brother.
he was definitely a brother. Yeah. So prayers up to him and his family as well. I'm sure he's I know this is as a wrestler, it's comforting when one of our brothers in arms passes to say that they're up getting ready to main event in the ring in the sky, and they've got the best show in the house, best spot in the building to see it. So
Can we get a no pity Smitty in the comments?
oh, absolutely, yeah, I'd like to get that going. Absolutely, Mark. Yeah, it was a sad news. So hope that hope that everybody does their part and pays tribute to a really awesome guy.
We sure are Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. So at Hoxie, I was his first match at Hoxie, Warwolf versus No Pity Smitty, and
Great match.
oh, I enjoyed the hell out of it. The week before I wasn't there, and he wrestled there, and as soon as I got to the building, we found each other and we talked, and super cool guy, and I felt really really comfortable in the ring with him. So just definitely sad news.
It was you. You were his last match, weren't you?
I don't know if I was his last. I was his first at Hoxie. I think
He wrestled one more time, didn't he?
I think he wrestled Logan Maverick, my son, also
Yeah.
my oldest son. So really really good wrestler. Really listens and gonna do great things if he just keeps with it. But yeah, with Smitty, him and Logan, they had a great match. I don't think that I ever saw, and this is not me just talking. I don't think I ever saw a bad match out of Smitty. And if there was a bad match, you never knew it from him. He was just a super cool, really nice guy.
Do you know how long he was in the business? Like off the top of your head?
It wasn't a long time.
I don't think so either.
I'm thinking 3 or 4 years,
That's what I was about to say.
maybe 5, but I could be wrong. It could have been closer to 3 to 4. But yeah, and not only that, but in the time that he did wrestle, he had accomplished so much.
He did over several companies.
Yes, stretched, pretty far in the Mid-South.
He dominated Arkansas. He did.
Yeah. So question number 5, like I was saying before, just sad stuff. You seem to have a pretty good grasp on wrestling with ADHD. Yeah, Debbie. It was only a few years, not a whole bunch, but he did a lot in a short time, not just in wrestling. So, what's something, Austin? What's something that you would tell? What's something that you would tell a kid that has ADHD and maybe doesn't know, or maybe has just been diagnosed? Because I know when I was diagnosed, it answered a lot of questions. So what's something that you'd tell young Austin Bolo, or maybe even just some young kid that has it or and doesn't know it, or has just been diagnosed? What's something that you would tell a kid?
Man, honestly, I would tell them, it's not a holdback. It's not a setback. It's not something that's going to hold you down. It's just something you got to learn to live with. It doesn't make you a horrible person. It doesn't make you different. It doesn't make you any less of a person. You're still you. You're just special in a good way.
Right.
That's what my mom always told me. I was special in a good way.
Yeah.
I was different, but I was special.
Oh, for sure. Right. I love that. Always keep your head up. Um, when I was diagnosed, like I said, I thought I was broken. I thought let's go to the doctor and find out something. When my mom told me that we were going to get, I was going to get tested. At that point, at a young age, I was like, yes, thank God that somebody's finally going to see if there's something wrong with me because uh, grades and school and all this stuff was just it was almost overwhelming in some ways because when I was diagnosed, it was the late 80s, early 90s. I ADHD research and ADHD in general, there wasn't a huge push to figure out what was wrong with kids. So it was almost like it was almost like if there wasn't a teacher that had seen something like this before or had a family member or something, and that's what happened with me. One of my teachers had a family member that was diagnosed and saw the signs and was like, he needs to get checked because he's not learning the things that blow pop, little tootsie pop, love it.
I beat up a little kid for this.
So it's one of those things where they recognized that there was a problem and they wanted to help me, and once I got that help, I got that focus back, and over the years I learned little things that I can do to help me work with it even more. As an adult, where ADHD never goes away.
Let me ask you this, Bruce.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you're sitting still as a person with ADHD, do you feel like you always have to be doing something? Like me right now, like I've been sitting still. I grabbed this sucker. It's like it's a comfort thing for
Right.
me. It's a comfort thing with my ADHD. Do you do stuff like that?
All the time. I've almost developed, like, it's probably already been developed before, but I've almost developed normal for ADHD. Just it's a mask that I wear to so that normal adults don't see that I have ADHD or that there's a problem. Uh, I I'm sitting here right now and it looks like I'm just sitting here, but I'm actually picking my cuticles. That's given me just that's given me almost a metric ton of dopamine right now. Not that I'm bored with us talking. It's
But
just
you're like me. You can't sit
yeah,
still.
yeah. You can't sit
Gotta
still.
be doing something.
If there's no noise, I'll make a noise. If there's
I can't
no
sleep. I can't sleep without a fan or a TV. Like if it's pure silence, dude, it drives me nuts.
To sleep, I listen to binaural beats to go to sleep to because it my brain focuses on those and it tires myself out. So it tires me out and then I just fall asleep. So
Yeah, I did get my candy tax. They came and said trick or treat. I
right,
said they're
right,
treats, and I
right.
said there's the trick.
So yeah, absolutely. That's great. Debbie, I didn't. I'm not no selling you. I totally saw your comment. You're right. Things might be hard now, but after every single storm, there's a beautiful day waiting ahead. I know that sounds like a Hallmark greeting card, but it's the truth. Um, things might be hard right now, but they're not going to be hard forever. You'll learn ways to cope with it. You'll learn things that you can do, tools that you can carry with you throughout your entire life to help you wrestle with ADHD. So if you're watching this later on and you see BeetleBruice tell you to keep at it, please do, because there's nothing is not manageable.
There's always a rainbow after the storm.
Right. Keeping on with the Hallmark gimmick, I like that. uh, yeah. I just I stumbled across binaural beats several years ago. I'm old, so I listen to podcasts. And I just found podcasts actually. So
Podcasts are awesome.
oh, they're great. They're great. If you got anything that you like, there's a podcast out there, and
Ebooks.
That's kind of
Ebooks are
one.
great.
Yeah, that's kind of one reason why I started this one, because I know that I recognize that there's such a small yet large group of people that wrestle with ADHD every day. So, that being said, it's just a thing, So, well, ladies and gents, Austin, I absolutely had a blast. We've been on here for an hour and 35 minutes.
Doesn't even seem like it, does it?
No, not at all. So I rushed home from work and had enough time to help feed and water my pack of wild dogs that are just in the other room. And then I just got all dolled up and to to get on here with y'all. Austin again.
I appreciate you having me tonight. It
Oh,
really
dude,
helped me out a lot.
I'm glad. And I hope what's going on, man, gets handled. And I hope everything goes good.
Time's the only way.
I hear that. Guys, it has been great. Thank you so much. Happy Halloween. It is still early, Dakota. It's 9:37. It's 9:37. Plenty of time to watch Beetlejuice. So get out there and get to Beetlejuicing, among other things. Yes, absolutely. Be safe. Have fun. Parents, check your kids' candy. There's not anything in there because that's just a rumor that was told to us as growing up.
Make sure they don't show up at my door because I'll steal it from them.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. Stay safe. Enjoy the candy. Don't get too much of a sugar thing. Oh, I will say this: sugar with people with ADHD, it works. It works so much different than
It reverse effect. It's a reverse effect.
Thunderstorms. Where we at? There we go. Sorry. Yeah. It works differently on us. I tend to, like, my wife. She loves coffee. She gets the jitters if she drinks it right before she goes to bed, so she doesn't. Me, give me caffeine of any kind, and I will sleep like a baby. It usually takes me, like, the C4 energy drink is the C4 and Bang are my go-tos. But I can't, if I drink one, I'm mellow. If I drink two, still mellow. 3, 4, still mellow. 5 or 6, then I start to get the friggin' the sugar jitters. It takes me quite a while. It's just how our brains are chemically balanced. Caffeine and sugar focuses us when I guess if you want to call them normies. When normies drink energy drinks or ingest sugar, they get those quick spurts of energy and whatnot. When we do it, it has the opposite effect.
It puts us to sleep.
Yeah. It's the same with, like, and it even stretches, like, into the medical field, like anesthetic stuff like that. We have to have a different kind of dosage because our brains will be like, he's not going to sleep yet, you punks.
I love that comment, Muggles, Bruce, Muggles.
Yeah. Speaking of that, like I said, I wasn't no selling your Harry Potter comment from earlier. So yes, you're right, Muggles. I'm watching you. I see you out there. So yeah, an hour and 39 minutes. Great show. Great information. Thank you so much. If you want to stick around afterwards, we can, just for a few minutes. Cool. All right, ladies and gents, this is it. I hope this is the last thing that you see before the live stream goes away. Oh, I got to push the button.